Ever wish you could walk around inside of your favorite TV and movie homes? Well, on this channel, you can. Today, we'll be exploring every nook and cranny of the house from Everybody Loves Raymond, including all of the main floor, Ray and Debra's bedroom, and the upstairs bathroom. Hi, I'm Marina Coates. I have a degree in architecture and an obsession with set design. Welcome to Behind the Scenes, where we get up close and personal with all your favorite TV and movie homes. Today we'll be exploring Ray and Debra Barone's home from Everybody Loves Raymond, with ceilings and all four walls like a real home. We'll even go down that little back hallway. Let's get started. We'll begin with an overhead view to help us get our bearings. This is the living room. Back here is the little nook we don't get to see very much of, but you will today. Over here's the dining area. This is the kitchen. Here's the laundry room. And this is the door they exit to go to the garage. More about that and the placement of the garage later. The exterior. Before we start the inside tour, let's point out some of the discrepancies between the exterior and the interior. As with almost all TV homes, none of the interior scenes were ever actually filmed inside of the home that were shown as being the exterior. Those were all filmed in a studio. Because of that, most TV home exteriors vary quite a bit from the interior. The Barone's home is no exception. Since the home changed so much over the course of the series, I had to pick a season and stick with it. I chose Season 1 for the tours you're going to see today. In Season 1, we're shown a window here on the interior that is much smaller than the one we see on the exterior. We're also shown a window here on the stairwell that doesn't show up on the outside. And we see an indentation here, whereas on the exterior, it's flat. The exteriors for both Ray and Debra's and Frank and Marie's homes are actually real-life homes in Merrick, Long Island. And just like on the show, they're situated directly across the street from each other, although the show is set in nearby Lynbrook. The living room. Such a familiar living room. A lot of scenes took place here. The sofa was center stage with the stairs behind it. On this side, behind the leather recliner, was a window. By the way, this shot also contains a blooper. They show the end of the wall, or the end of the set, here. On the other side, in the back, was a little nook area with a built-in seat and a window. In front of the sofa on this side was a mission-style rocker. In an interview with the set decorator, Donna Stamps, she discussed the choices for the set design. She described how it was meant to show that with all of those children, they simply didn't have a lot of time or money to put into decorating. Toys and stuffed animals are everywhere, clearly indicating a house full of kids. Patricia Heaton herself, who played Debra Barone, said of the set, "One occasionally yearns to have a sleek, contemporary look, but this really looks like anybody's home who has more than one kid." Now, what would be on the fourth wall in the living room? The fourth wall is the wall on a TV show that we never get to see because that's where the cameras and the audience are. We know there was a TV there. But what else? In this case, there's a clue. On the exterior of the home, we see a fireplace here and a window here. This window over here would now end up on the fourth wall in the kitchen. It's a bit of a stretch since this wall isn't really long enough to house both the living room and the kitchen, but I took some creative license and set it up this way. You'll get to see that fourth wall in the tour coming up. Scenes that took place in the living room. Ray confronting Marie about saying she likes Amy more than Debra. By the way, one of my all-time favorite scenes. Doris Roberts could have gotten an Emmy for just that scene alone. She was absolutely perfect in this role, born to play the part. She was Marie. Amy confronting Robert about the botched Hank Pat wedding invitations. What did you do? Oh, the faces Monica Horan could make. Just killer. And Robert confronting Marie about interfering with his interview for the FBI. And a special shout out here to Brad Garrett. If you haven't already seen these, catch his spot-on impersonation of Herman Munster in a blooper reel from the show on YouTube, as well as his portrayal of Jackie Gleason in the 2002 made-for-TV movie, Gleason. Incredible. Let's take a tour now of the living room before we venture on to the kitchen. I sell framed prints of the TV homes I recreate. Here's the one I recently made of Ray and Debra's home. You can find many more of these in my online shop at the link below. The den. In a couple episodes, a den is referred to but never actually seen. But when people head to the den, they go down this hallway next to the stairwell. Ray's office is in the basement. We know this because we see people open this door under the stairs to head down to his office. Also, as they enter his office, they're seen going down this flight of stairs. So we know the den referred to is not his office. So where is this mystery den? We can see a space here next to the basement door, which is the hallway that leads to the den. So I took my clues from the exterior. Here we see a room that is in the right place, on this side of the stairs. So I placed the den here. As for what it would look like inside, I got a clue from this shot of the exterior at night. It shows paintings on this back wall and a large plant in this corner. But what else would they have in the den? We know there isn't a TV there because in one episode when Debra hosts a Tupperware party, Ray forgets and invites his friends over to watch a game. He never says, let's go watch it in the den, but instead the guys go upstairs to watch it in the bedroom, since the living room is already taken. And there isn't a spare bed or a pull-out couch there because in another episode, when what they believe to be their aunt from Italy comes to stay, they put her on a cot down in Ray's office. So what would be in the den? Have you ever noticed that when they have company over for dinner, suddenly an extra table appears? Well, I decided to put that table in the den. They can pull it out for meals when company comes, but also that way Debra has a private space to work on crafts or hide birthday presents without the children being able to get in. Let's head back there now. While I was making this tour, I started to wonder what the view would be like for people coming down the stairs. So I made a little clip of that for you. just in case you're curious too. And now we know. Previous to Everybody Loves Raymond, Peter Boyle, who played Frank Barone, was known for roles in such movies as Taxi Driver and Young Frankenstein. A fact that the writers had some fun with a few times in the series, giving nods to his well-known roles, even including some dialogue. And what would this show be without the writers? It's such a huge part of why this show works. The kitchen. I love that the set designers put some 1940s features in the kitchen. For example, this O'Keefe and Merritt stove with the overhead light and shelf for salt and pepper shakers, and the glass front cupboards, and the quilt pattern in the linoleum floor, and of course all of the beautiful wood moldings and trims throughout the home. In a flashback episode going back to when they bought the home, we see that the wallpaper, borders, and paint colors were all there before they purchased the home. There's a laundry room here in the background behind sets of louvered doors. And to the left of the laundry area is the door that they take when they head to the garage. Some scenes that took place in the kitchen. Ray accidentally putting Debra's Thanksgiving fish in the dishwasher, and during another Thanksgiving, Debra dropping the turkey on the floor multiple times before throwing it in the oven. And Robert, Amy, Ray, and Debra all celebrating Frank and Marie's move to a retirement village. Let's take a walk around the kitchen now, and then we'll head back to the laundry room and the garage. The garage. On the exterior, we're shown the single car garage being flush with the front of the house. However, that doesn't make sense given a couple of other things we know about the garage. First of all, this is the door they take to get to the garage. And we see a large bump out here for the garage. So with those things in mind, I placed the garage back here. I also added a half bath here. If I've learned anything from doing these tours, it's that people always want to know where a bathroom could go on the main floor when none is shown. And I like finding a space for one too, so it feels even more like a real home. With that in mind, let's head on back to the garage. I get asked all the time how I make these tours. I go into that in detail on my Patreon channel, showing the modeling from the beginning as well as my thought process as I'm constructing them. I also post all of the tours by themselves without narration, plus many other fun facts and observations. You can join my Patreon channel at the link below for only $5 a month. It's where all the extra behind-the-scenes action gets posted. The basement. Before we take the full tour of the main floor, let's look at the basement. It was a small space, most likely a half basement, with Ray's desk here, a bookshelf behind him, and not much else. I love that the set designers decided to put open bookshelves there, rather than a solid wall like most people do in their basements. It gives a very interesting look, and it's something you could do in your own home. Now let's take the full tour of the main floor all at once before we head upstairs. And for this tour, we'll come in the back way like the Barones often do, even though we all know that doesn't really make sense since they live across the street from each other. For those of you who follow my work, you know that I have a soft place in my heart for the old classic sitcoms. Partly for the amazing set design, but also for the nostalgic feelings they create. The Andy Griffith Show, Leave It to Beaver, Dick Van Dyke, The Brady Bunch. When times were simpler, life seemed more safe. Problems were manageable, and parents were portrayed as being both unusually kind and unusually wise. In our youth, we turned to those homes for peace, safety, and refuge. But Everybody Loves Raymond doesn't quite fit into that same mold, does it? And yet we love it. It presents a different kind of family life. One that's a little more complicated, a little more raw, a lot closer to what we experience in real life. Because real life is chock full of problems and conflicts and difficult personalities, with favored children, communication issues, stress, jealousy, parenting fails, and in-laws with boundary issues. In real life, there is no issue of the week that gets solved neatly and perfectly in the allotted 20 minutes, never to be encountered again in subsequent episodes. That's not how real life works. No, real life is a lot messier, but also much more relatable, and therefore infinitely more interesting. And I think that pretty much sums up Everybody Loves Raymond. When I make these tours, I always stick in a few Easter eggs. Easter eggs are items that are references to the show that true fans will recognize. Here's a few Easter eggs I placed in this tour. I placed some luggage on the landing from the episode Baggage, where Ray and Debra each leave a cheese-filled suitcase there for the other one to take care of until it eventually smells so bad that Marie notices and uses it as one of her, shall we say, teaching moments for the couple. I even snuck in a VHS tape of their wedding under the TV and VCR, the one Ray recorded over. And just for fun, I included Ray's favorite beverage, ginger ale, on the coffee table, along with a TV guide featuring the cast on the front, a Nemo's magnet on the refrigerator, and a calendar with a note reminding Debra to bring snacks for T-ball. Now let's head upstairs. The bathroom. The kids' rooms make just a few appearances over the course of the series, but a surprising number of scenes took place in the bathroom. It was a rather large bathroom, with the tub here, a pedestal sink over here, and the toilet here behind a half wall. There was a tall cabinet with shelving here, and again, lots of signs of children living here. We'll tour the bathroom along with the bedroom tour coming up next. Ray and Debra's room. We're shown this room on the exterior as being their bedroom. There are episodes where they turn the light off in their room, and then we're shown it going out here. So it was obviously meant to be here. But this doesn't quite match up, as these windows are too far apart on the exterior, and it leaves no room for this hall window that we see here from their bedroom, or for the bathroom across the hall. But still, I don't care. I love these homes, inconsistencies and all. Their room is just as cozy as one of Debra's bathrobes. There are dormers on each side of the bed. They have a small closet here with a sliding pocket door. There's a nook here for a dresser, and a highboy dresser on the other side of the room. Now, what would be on the fourth wall? Well, we know they have a TV in their room, so that would be there. We also know from this episode when the twins throw Ray's golf clubs down the stairs that they had to be up there somewhere, so I put those up there too. There are often debates online asking people whose side they're on in different episodes, Ray's or Debra's. And that's the beauty of it. Sometimes we're Team Ray and sometimes we're Team Debra. They feel like real people, a real couple, each with good points and bad points. Like I said before, that's real life. But the realness comes not just from the writing, but from the acting as well. When they hug, it feels real. And when they fight, it also feels real. Patricia won 2 Emmys for her role as Debra Barone and later went on to star in 9 seasons of The Middle. Ray Romano was so believable in his role as Ray Barone. He won several Emmys for his work on the show, too. It never felt like a stand-up comedian delivering lines. He has real acting chops, which has been proven in films such as The Irishman and Somewhere in Queens, which he also directed. Let's tour the bedroom and bathroom now, and then I have a couple really nice surprises for you. And now for one of my surprises. As I was modeling this home, I kept wondering what their home would look like without all the children's clutter sprinkled around. So out of curiosity, I decided to make a tour of the home that way. I thought maybe others would like to see it too. This next surprise comes with a warning. Over the years making these tours, I've learned that there are some people that only want to see these homes exactly how they were shown to us on TV. They're purists, and I get that. These homes occupy a special place in our memories, and sometimes people don't like us messing around with their memories. So with that said, I'm about to show you the home as it might look today in 2023 if Debra finally got to update the home in the way Patricia Heaton described, with a more contemporary look. But if you're one of those people that doesn't want their memories monkeyed with, consider yourself warned and stop the video now. However, if you want to see what it might look like today, continue on. What other TV or movie homes would you like to see? Comment below. But as for today, that's a wrap. See you next time on Behind the Scenes.